Yeah. Okay. Can I continue the class? Yeah. Okay. I will continue the class. Then let's see here. Yeah. In this case, definitely the player cannot achieve the promotion. Means, as I told you, if he has 4 minutes and 8 zombies, he can't kill with some in this time. He can't kill all the 8 zombies. He needs some more time. Like that, he was asking. He can't kill. He can't achieve the promotion. He can't go to next level. So hence the player gets a superpower to destroy all the zombies in the current level when the current game is the time is a palindrome. What he was telling us, he needs some superpower to destroy. What is that power? Extra power. What is our extra power coming according to our question? Extra time. Extra time according to our game. So what he was saying, that time need to be in a palindrome. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of palindrome? Guys, can anyone tell me the meaning of palindrome? Here your strength is around 40. Yeah. Yeah, someone is trying to tell me.
If we reverse it, it will be the same.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, thank you. It's absolutely correct. If we reverse the number, it need to be same as the previous number. Okay. Now, anyhow, the player can manage only if he knows the time taken to get the superpower. The player can defeat when he can. I mean, the player can defeat all the zombies. When he can defeat all the zombies, when he know how much extra power he need to get, how much extra time he need. Yeah, he need to know how much extra time he need. Now we need to calculate that extra time the player needs, and we need to give it as our output. Okay. Now let's see the sample input and sample output. The sample input is 539. 539. It is a starting point of the game, guys. Okay. In question he mentions. Wait, I will show you. Yeah, help the player by providing the minimum minutes needed to get the superpower. As I told you, we need to find the extra time by which he can destroy all the zombies. Okay. You will be provided with the starting time of the game. Yeah, here he told you will be provided with the starting time of the game. Now here you can see this is the 539 is the starting time of the game. Okay. And what he told, you can see here, the time need to be a palindrome, the output time need to be a palindrome. I think you got confused here. I think that. And what is mean by that? Now the starting time is 539. What is what if, how much extra time if we had add to this number, and the output need to get as palindrome. If we add 11 minutes to this, what will be the time? 550. This is a palindrome number, right? I think you understand, guys. The output number after adding the extra time to the starting number need to be a palindrome. Okay. So by checking this thing, we need to add the extra time. Okay, by checking the starting time, and we need to add extra time, then the output number need to be a palindrome. Okay, let's get into the program, guys. I think you understand the question, and let us enter into the program. Yeah, guys, here we can solve a programming question in many languages like C, C++, C hash, Java, Python, in any other languages, right? Now, now I'm going to solve this in C++. Okay, listen here, guys. In C language, we have some header files. I'm telling about C language, guys. In C language, we have header files like hash include stdio.h and some other header files. This is the main header files where we use in every C language. What it means, it contains the predefined functions of input output, right? So like the same in C++ language also, we have a header file to store the input output predefined functions, that is IO stream. This is a header file, guys. This can be also written as hash include, sorry guys, include bits std c++ dot h. This is the thing. We can also write this include IO stream in the form of hash include bits uh, slash std c++ dot h. Okay, guys, these two indicates the same input output predefined one, and using namespace std here it indicates that we are using the standard form of in the header file. Okay, now getting into the function. Actually, as you know, the int function is at the last of the program, means it is a recursive function. So I have written the program in a recursive format. Now int get palindrome of time of string str. Guys, as the as this is a time is in a format of string, so I'm taking in my input in the format of string str. Okay, now entering into the function, I have taken int h comma mm. Here h represents hours, mm represent minutes. Now I have to store some values in hours and minutes, right? So when I solve this equation, I will get a value and that will be stored in h. And you can ask me, sir, you are telling about the equation, what is that, why we are going to do that? I will tell you. See here, guys, str0 means, I will tell you what is our string actually. One sec. What is our string actually? 0539. This is our string, right? str of 0 indicates it stores the value of first one, it stores the value 0, and str1 indicates it stores the value of 5, means it stores second value in the string, that is 5. 1 sorry. str of 2 means it stores the value of third position, the column. Here the column will also be taken into our consideration, guys. Okay, don't forget. And str of 3, it indicates the fourth position number, that is 3, and str of 4 means it gives 9. Okay, this is the format of str. Now I'm taking these values to solve hours and minutes, to take how many hours I have and how many minutes I have. Okay, okay, guys, let's see. Now str of 0 minus 48. Why I have taken 48? Why I can't take 50 or 55? Can anyone guess why I have taken 48 here? Can anyone? Okay, 48 is the ASCII value of 0, guys. The starting number is 0, right? So 48 is the ASCII value of 0, and we are multiplying it with 10 plus str1 minus 48. This equation, by solving this one, I will get hours value, and after that str of 3 minus, guys, here you can see the first two indicates hours and next two indicates minutes. So so that I'm solving these two things and storing the value in hours, and I'm solving these two things I'm storing in minutes. Here you can see, check, minutes equal to str of 3 minus 48 into 10 plus str of 4 minus 48. This equation gives me a value that will be stored in minutes. Okay, after that int required 0, int required time equal to 0, I'm taking a value 0 that will be stored in required time, and it has 0 is integer, so I'm taking int. Now I'm going to write while function. I don't know why. Let's check it out. While of hours modulus 10 not equal to minutes divided by 10, or hours divided by 10 not equal to minutes modulus 10. Here I have two conditions. In between these two conditions, I have an operator or, right? Guys, can anyone tell me what is the use of or operator here, or meaning of or? Can anyone?
Sir, if any one of them is true, then it will return true.
Yeah, absolutely correct. One sec, guys. Okay, yeah, we'll back to the question. Yeah, as your friend told, any one of the condition becomes true, we will get into the loop. that loop. Okay, now in these two conditions, any one of the condition is true means we will be entering into the while loop. So that in that while loop, currently we have first line is pre-increment of minutes. Guys, as you know, we have pre-increment and post-increment. This indicates pre-increment, and this indicates the post-increment. And not only increment, we also have decrement, pre-decrement, and post decrement. These four are useful for decrement and increment operations. Okay, now, okay, guys, now let's see the thing. If minutes equal to 60, yeah, guys, you can ask me why 60, sir. As you know, 1 hour will have 60 minutes. So if minutes equal to 60, then my minutes value becomes 0 and I will be pre-incremented with my hours. Okay, after that I'll be entering into another if loop, that is hours equal to 24, as our one day will have 24 hours. And if I satisfy that condition, and the hours value will become 0. After that I will be able to do pre-increment of required time. What is my required time here? 0. Now if I do pre-incrementation means it will become 1. Guys, this loop will be iterated many times up to the while loop becomes false. Okay, when both conditions becomes true or both conditions become false, then it will be out of the while loop, guys. Okay, this loop will be iterated until the condition becomes true. Only one condition becomes true. Until that, it will be iterated. After that iteration, we will get some required time. And that required time will be returned. It will be my return value. Now, int main, I am getting into the main function. In main function, I have string str. In third line, if you can see, string str is present in my get palindrome time. In that it is there. So if I went with main function means first of all I get string str. From this I will get into third line. After that I will start off from fifth line to 23rd line. By solving this I will get output. What is my output? The output will be stored in get palindrome of string str. Okay, and str will be my one input, and input will be in str and output also will be in str. So that here you can ask me what is mean by get line of cin comma str. That is a simple thing, cin greater than str, guys. Okay, and here one thing, guys, in C language, as you know, there is printf and scanf, which is used to read the values and print out the values. As the same, cin will act as scanf and cout will act as printf. Here, cin will read the values and cout will give the means it will print out the values. So by using cin, I am reading the value which was present in str, and using the cout, the value present in get palindrome of str means after solving this complete function, I'll get an output, and I am giving output means I am printing that value. Okay, I think you have understand, guys. Do you have any doubts? Okay, then I'll go with next question. Chat box, anyone mentioned anything? Yeah, that's fine. Let's go with the next question, the second question. The second question is weighted substring. What is mean by weighted substring? Let's see the question. Every character has a weight. The weight of an English uppercase alphabet A to Z is given below. Yeah, guys, he was telling here like we have A to Z alphabets in uppercase, and for every alphabet there will be a weight value. Weight means value. Every alphabet will be weighted. Means every alphabet will give a value up to Z, guys. Okay, A to Z. And now let us see what are those values and how he was going to give those values. A equal to 1, B equal to 2 star A plus A, C equal to 3 star B plus B. Here, guys, if you can see, for A he had given directly the value, for B he had given some equation, for C, for D, for other Other than J, for every alphabet, he had given us some equation, right? Now let's try to solve that equation. Yes, A equal to 1, B equal to 2 star A plus J. What the value we are going to get if we solve this 2 star 1 plus 1, that is equal to, guys, while you are going to solve these type of equations, you need to follow Bode-Maas rule, guys. Okay, that means like 2 into 1 means 2 plus 1 means 3. We will get this. Okay, what is the equation for C? 3 star B plus B, that gives 3 star 3 plus 3, that is equal to 12. Okay, like the same for D, we need to solve, guys. Okay, for D means 4 star C plus C, it gives 4 star 12 plus 12, like 4 12 are 48 and plus 12 60, guys. Okay, now up to Z we need to solve, guys. Okay, now let's get into the question again. The weight of any string made up of these characters is a summation of weights of each character. Given a total string weight, determine shortest string of that given weight. Guys, here he was asking us that, I will tell you the thing with an example here, guys. He was asking us like, he will give some total weight. Here he mentioned an example here. Let's take the same example, 25. For example, given weight here, if you can see, for example, weight equal to 25. Let's go with the same example, 25. Guys, if by using these values, we need to get output 25, guys. By adding these values, we need to get output as 25. Only summation, guys, no subtraction, only summation. So that what will be the value of 25? 12 plus 1. Okay, but this is not our output. Guys. Need to give output as C. What 12 indicates? C, right? And what another 12? Sorry, guys. What another 12 indicates? Another C. And what one indicates? A. Guys, you can ask me like 25 can be also written as 1 plus 3 plus 3. 3 into 4 is 12, right? So writing 3 for 4 times gives 12, and by adding another 12 gives also 20, also gives 25. What it represents? A, B, 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 and C. This is what it represents. Now in these two, what will be our answer? Let's check it out in question. What he wants. And the weights of the first few characters, the alphabets, or he had given directly. It is certain that no letter larger than C is required. Okay. Some of the strings with the total weight equal to largest are, yeah, guys, as you told, 25 can be written in the format of A, 4 B's and C, A, C, C, and also can be written as in 7 A's and 6 B's. Okay. In these three, what we need to take as answer? The shortest of these. Okay. The shortest of these three is taken as answer. Okay. What is the shortest among these three? ACC, right? So that one we are going to take as our output, and while any permutation of these characters will have the same weight. This is lexicographically smallest of them. Function description, complete the function smallest string in the editor below. I think you have understand. Do you have any doubts in question? Okay, fine. Input format need to be in a string. Input need to be in string format. Okay, like now we are going to take sample input as 20 and sample output as sample output I need to get as AABBC. One sec, guys. Yeah, guys, sorry. One sec. As I'm taking input format in string means the input will be AABBC, and output is in the format of integer. That means the output need to be 20. I will get AABBC and I need to get it. Okay guys, let's get into the program. See here, include IO stream and include vector. Guys, you can ask me here what is mean by vector, sir. This is a header file which is new to us. I think some of you are learned about that, and some might be unknown, aware of, don't not aware of that. Now here vector is used to store the elements, guys. See, that is a sequence that C++ vectors are sequence containers that store elements, guys. Okay, specifically used to work with dynamic data. We will have some dynamic data, right? To store that elements, we use vectors. Okay, now coming into the main program, int values of 26. Why 26? As we have 26 alphabets, we are going to take 26 number, and int find floor of int comma int comma int, and I am taking 3 integers. This is a function which will be written after some time, which will be used in the upcoming lines of the program. Now void insert values, guys. For this yeah guys, I can tell you one thing. In the starting of the question, he had mentioned A has weight of 1 and B has weight of 3, C has weight of 12, but those we need to assign those. He will not assign those, right? We need to assign those values, correct? So that we are inserting those values to alphabets first of all. So value of 0 is 1. Okay, what is value of 0 here? It indicates like value of 0 means 1, means here value of 0 indicates A. Okay, that is 1. And what is my value of 1 means it is B. What is my B? It is 3, but we should not give 3 directly. We need to use an equation. What is equation present here? A star 1 plus 1, right? This is my equation. So by using this equation, I need to give the value for B, C, D and other alphabets. Now I am going to give the same. Int previous equal to 1. Here I have taken a number 1 which was stored in previous, and now entering into a for loop. Int I equal to 1, I is less than 26, I plus plus. If I satisfy this I less than 26 condition, I will be able to access that for loop, and I will be entering into the for loop. Now values of I equal to I plus 1 star previous plus previous. Guys, if you see this equation, means it is in the same form as our question equation, the question equation present in our question. Okay, it is in the same format. Now by using this equation, I am going to store the values in remaining alphabets, and after completion of after storing of every alphabet, after storing the value of for every alphabet, my previous value will be changed. What I will get as my previous value? The value present in value of I will be stored in previous, and previous will be changed, and this will for loop will be iterated, means this for loop will be iterated for 25 times, because 26 is less than not less than 26. 26 is equal to 26, so that it will be iterated for that many times. Okay guys, you can ask me, sir, as we have 26 alphabets, you are only telling only here we are assigning only 25. What about 26th alphabet? Already we have given value for one alphabet, so that we remove that first alphabet, and for remaining 25 alphabets only we are assigning values, so that only from 1 to 26 less than 26 I am taking. Okay, now void format string, it means like, as I told you, there will be a string which I need to take. Now I'm trying to form that string by using vector char. I told you why we have used vector, and by using that vector I'm taking character s, my character, and integer k. Int low equal to 0, high equal to 25, k not equal to 0. When I am entering into a while loop, while of k not equal to 0. Okay, if I satisfy this condition, I will be able to enter into the loop. int ind equal to find floor of k comma low comma high. Guys, as I told you in fifth line, find floor of int comma int, it is a time to use find floor of those three integers. What are those? In those place I have mentioned k comma low comma high. Okay, guys, 1 second. Yeah, guys, see here. Now, s dot push back of ind plus a. What is it mean by that? Yeah, this is used to append characters, and you can use operator plus equal to. Okay, now all of them help to append character, but with a little difference in implementation and difference, guys, here the just pushback, here we use pushback is just for let's you to append single character at a time. Okay, to attend a single character at a single time means to taking a single character at a single time means one time b, second time a single character at a single time. Okay, that's the thing. And k equal to k minus values of ind, the value which we get by using k minus k ind will be stored in k. After that storing, I will be entering into for of I is equal to s dot size of -1 and I is greater than or equal to 0, I minus. When I solve this s dot size of -1, I will get a value which will be stored in I, and by using that value I need to satisfy this condition. If I satisfy that condition, I will get an output of s of I, means the string the present at the current position, I position. Okay, and now int find floor of int k comma int low comma int high. Now int ans equal to -1, I am taking a value -1 which will be stored in ans, and while loop is less than or equal to low is less than or equal to high, I'm getting into a while loop and I have a condition. If I satisfy this condition, I'll be take int mid is equal to low plus high divided by 2. Okay, guys, the value which I get here will be stored in my mid. After that, I will be able to enter into if loop. If values of mid is less than or equal to k, if I satisfy this condition, answer equal to mid, the value of mid will be stored in answer, and the value of mid plus 1 will be stored in low. If I doesn't satisfy this condition, I'll be able to entering into else loop. As you know, if else loop condition, do you know that if condition satisfied means I'll be able to entering into if loop, if or else I'll be able to entering into else loop. Now if I satisfy that, I'll be able to write these two things, or else if I enter into else loop, I will be able to take my high. Now after returning ans answer int main, I will be able to enter into main function. And what is the thing in main? Insert values. Insert value means I will be get into the void function, void insert value function. After getting that, I am trying from there, I will be enter my values, I will insert my values, and after that I am taking and the integer, the number I have to give. Okay, and the vector of char means, as I told you, the vector, the taking of elements, and formal string s comma n. Now I need to give an output as formal string, my formal string, the output. Okay, do you have any doubts, guys, here in this question or answer? Okay, guys, let's get into next question. Yeah, balanced parenthesis. What is mean by balanced parenthesis? And guys, leave about the title. We have different types of parentheses. Any one of you know those? Yeah, I'm going to tell that. We have, yeah, I'm removing this. We have some types of parentheses like closed, flower, and square. These are the three types of parentheses we have, right? And balance, what is balanced and unbalanced here? If we take a bracket with open and without closing, if we left it without closing means it is an unbalanced one. if it opened it and closed it means it will be as balanced one. If I open a flower bracket and doesn't close it means it is a unbalanced one. Okay. If I open and close it means it is a balanced one. Now you can ask me, sir, if what is the answer if I have this? It is a balanced one, guys. Why? Because the flower bracket is open and closed, and square bracket is also open and closed. Here in the sample input and output, we have sample input with an expression flower bracket open and close bracket open and it is closed, and here the flower bracket is closed. Up to here the thing is balanced. Okay, and the square bracket is open and closed, so the complete thing is balanced finally. So my output will be balanced. Okay guys, now getting into the program. I think it is a simple question, so you understand it guys. If you don't understand, unmute yourself and ask me. Now getting into the program. Now hash include iostream, hash include C standard library, C string. Here C standard library means it indicates I'm taking standard libraries of C programming language, and C string means I am taking standard library of means predefined functions of C string guys. Okay, using namespace std and class node. I'm writing a class here from here, and remember it guys, one thing, the node which will be present after class, the name which will be present of the class need to be start with a capital letter. Okay, when we start, okay, if you written with a small letter means it will definitely give you an error. Now public, guys, you have local declarations and global declarations, right? As the same, we will use public and private in classes. Okay, public indicates global declaration, private indicates local declaration. As you know, global declaration means that declared part means declared values will be can be used throughout the program. Local declaration means that need to be used up to that particular loop or that particular function, means some part to some part only. Okay, now I'm declaring public. Now two things, that is node star next and char data in characters and star next in node. Okay, now head star head is equal to null. Head means the starting, the point, the starting point. My head point is null. Void insert of char data. I'm inserting my data. After inserting that data, I will have my head value in temp. I'm taking a temp node temp by using node. I'm taking a temp is acting as a node here, guys, remember. And I'm storing head value in star temp. Okay, and I'm storing new node value in star new node. After that, the data present in new node means here in this there will be a data. What is that? The data, it is given as data the same, or else you can write some other things, uh, some or answer anything. Here currently I'm taking it as data. Okay, now new node next equal to null. That node present after the new node means I will tell you here guys, the first box represents new node. Okay, the second box represents my new node next, means the next box which was present after new node. Okay, the next thing present after new node. Here as I told you, the first box is new node, right? So it contains some data, and what is the thing present in new node next? That is null. Here if you can see in 17th line means new node next equal to null. Okay, that's it guys, this is the thing. And if head is equal to null, now I am going to enter into, I have inserted some values in all these things guys. After insertion, I'm going to be enter into if loop. If head equal to null, if my starting point is null, then new node value will be stored in head. After if I doesn't satisfy this condition, even though I will be entering into else condition. In that else condition, what I have, even though if you not satisfy the condition of if, you need to store new node value in head. After storing that, new node next will be temp. Okay, to here my insertion will be done. Okay, after that void pop. Pop means what? You know, push and pop, right? Push means inserting the values. Pop means deleting the values. Okay, so here I need to delete the values. What I'm deleting, what I'm doing, let's see. Node star temp is equal to head. Node star temp 1 equal to head next. Here first, currently I have taken, initially I have taken head value and stored it in star temp. After that, head next value means the next one present after head is stored in temp 1. But the value head next is stored in temp 1, right? The temp 1 value which was stored in the head next, indirectly it is head next, right? This head next value will be stored in head by using temp 1, so that the temp value will become null, right? So temp next will become null. Now temp next won't have any value now in temp 1. As I'm taking this temp 1 value and storing it in head, then temp next value, that is temp 1, won't be any value. So it is null, it will become null, and I'm making temp as free. Okay, like that I am removing. Here if we use free means we are removing something. Okay, char top, the top character. Return head data. The data present in head means the top one is my top character. By using this function, I am going to return my head value. Now, up to here, I have inserted my characters or some these expression and remaining things. Now I have to check whether that is balanced or unbalanced, right? Now I am checking that. Char x, I am taking a character x, and for that I am going to be start with an for loop. For int I equal to 0, I less than string length of expression I plus plus. Expression means here this indicates an expression. Okay. String length means how many characters are there in that expression. How many characters are there? Here I have 6 characters. So my here string length value becomes 6. So I equal to 0. I 1 0 less than 6. It is correct, right? So I'll be entering into the loop. The condition is satisfied, and if I enter that loop, I'll be get access to enter if loop into if loop. What is the thing present in if loop? I have 3 conditions. This is my first condition, this is my second condition, and this is my third condition. Okay, in between these condition I have an or operator. As your friend told in the previous program, the or operator is used to check, means to take whether the condition is one condition will become true. Okay, after taking means if the first condition becomes true, we will insert the first one, means the closing brackets. If the second condition becomes true, we will be able to insert square brackets. If the third condition becomes true, we will be able to enter, means insert the flower brackets. After insertion, we will continue with the next lines. If head equal to null, if the starting one is null, we will return 0. If it is not null, we will be able to enter into switch case. For the thing in switch case, expression of I, if I get first closed bracket means I will be able to get into case 1, that is closed brackets, and after entering into that I will execute these 5 lines. If my expression is flower bracket, I will be sorry guys, if my expression is flower bracket, I will be able to entering into these 5 lines. If my input is square bracket, means expression is square brackets, I'll be able to take these 5 lines. After completion of taking like this after checking of these things, here we are checking. Why we are checking everything? To check whether it is balanced or not. After checking, we will get out of that loop, and now we are done with the thing guys, right? First of all, we have taken input, and after that we have verified whether it is balanced or not. After that we will get out of those loops, right? Only those two things in the question they have mentioned. So entering into the main function, character of s of 30. Here from s I am reading my character. This is my character. Okay, this is my expression which was taking in character. And s of 30 means this 30 indicates size, guys. Size may be 100, 200, how much size we want we can take. But if we mention one size here, means we should not exceed the input more than that size. Here we should not exceed 30. Okay, now Cin greater than s means I am reading the s value into my program. After reading that, I will check whether it is balanced. If it is balanced, I will get output as balanced. If it is not balanced, I will get output as not balanced. Okay, here you can see, guys, if r balanced of s means from here I will go to this int r balanced function, guys. Okay, after checking that, I will give c out as balanced if balanced, or not balanced means I will get output as not balanced. Okay, guys, do you understand? Do you have any doubts? Okay, guys, I think no doubts. Let's go with the next question. Lowest common ancestor. Lowest common ancestor means, you can see here from the title itself, they have mentioned here the common. Let's divide the three words, guys. Here we have lowest common ancestor, the three words. Let's divide. Lowest means the least, the last one. Common means the thing, the common point between two persons, the common one. Here, what is the common? Ancestor. Ancestor is common in between two, not in between two, guys. It may be in 3, 4 also, 4 members also. But let's see what he has taken in the question. Write a C++ program to find the common ancestor of given two numbers in a tree. Let T be a rooted one. What he was telling that, let us take a common ancestor of two given numbers. As I told you, two numbers. I'm taking two numbers and finding common ancestors in between those two numbers. I need to write a program for this thing. Now let T be a rooted tree. The lowest common ancestor between these two nodes n1 and n2 is defined as the lowest node in T that has both n1 and n2 as descendants. What he was telling, guys, the lowest common ancestor will become lowest node of T. Okay, that T will have a tree, guys. Tree has many nodes, right? The lowest node is the lowest common ancestor. The lowest node in rooted tree is the lowest common ancestor. Okay. Okay, 1 second, guys. Yeah, guys, sorry for that glitch. Yeah, now let's start with the question again. Now, the lowest common ancestor of n1 and n2. Guys, I think you are listening. Yeah, you can listen. Yeah. The lowest common ancestor of n1 and n2 in T is the shared ancestor of n1 and n2 that is located farthest from the root. What he was telling, the lowest common ancestor will be located in farthest from T, means somewhere from T it will be located. There will be a gap in between lowest common ancestor and the rooted one, that is T. Okay, computation of lowest common ancestor is useful. Finding of lowest common ancestor is useful for what? For instance, as a part of a procedure for determining the distance between two pairs of a node in a tree. Guys, he was telling another thing. We need to find the distance between pair of node in a tree. Means what we have here, the pair means n1 and n2. This is the thing. We need to find the distance in between these. Okay. How we can find? We can find by using these 3 steps, guys. Here he mentioned us 3 steps. What are those? Distance from n1 to n2 can be written as distance from root to n1 plus distance from root to n2 minus twice the distance, means 2 into root distance from root to lowest common ancestor. Okay, it means from T to lowest common ancestor. Okay, guys, I think you got the question. And this is our sample input and this is sample output. Let's get into the program, guys. Yeah. Now, the first two lines will be our common things which we are going to take in our C++ program. Now struct node, I'm taking a node in struct format, into data, into data, I'm taking a data in integer and struct node left, star right. And guys, remember one thing, after completion of struct node block, you need to end that block with a semicolon, guys. If you don't do that, it will give an error to you. Okay. And from 8th line, struct node star root and struct node star create of int n. Guys, you can ask me what is the difference between struct node star and struct node star. These two things. There is nothing difference, guys. There is just a blank spaces in between them. There is no difference in between those two. Okay, both are same. Both represent same. Okay. Now, guys, do you anyone of you know the memory allocations? Guys, the memory allocations present. Do you know anyone of you? Okay, I will tell you what are those. We have dynamic memory allocation and static memory allocation, right? In dynamic memory allocation, we will have MLOC, CLOC, and free alloc. So to give some allocation of memory to temp, I'm using MLOC format. What is my MLOC format? Struct node star temp equal to struct node star MLOC of size of struct node. I'm going to store I'm going to allocate memory of size of struct node to temp. Okay, I think you have understand this, guys. And temp data will become n. Means here the data is n currently. Initially, that our value is n, and temp right, temp left is null. What he was saying, the left part of n is null and the right part of null is also null. Sorry, the right part of n is null. Okay. Now struct node star lowest common ancestor of struct node star root int n1 comma int n2. Here this is used to find the lowest common ancestor of root int n1 and int n2. Okay, guys, if root data means the data present in root is greater than once and data present in root is greater than n2 are the two conditions in if loop, guys. This is one condition and this is my second condition, and in between these two I have an and operator. If these two conditions are satisfied, then I will be able to enter the loop, that is if loop, that is return LCA of root left n1 comma n2. Okay, here I will return a lowest common ancestor, or else I will enter into else if loop, that is root data less than n1, root data greater than less than n2. If I satisfy these two conditions, I will return this LCA. Okay, after returning root, I am going to insert what I am going to insert my values in that temp format in data. I'm going to insert my t value and n1 and n2 value. Okay, the temp value I'm going to insert the t, the root value. Okay, now let's see, guys. If you can see in the question, if c6 is my root value, the 3, the 1, 4, all these things will be my after the root values, means the root t right. Here my root is t only, right? So t right, t left, those are the other values present in my tree. Okay, now how we can insert? Let's see how we are going to insert. By using a void function, we are going to insert that Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry guys, sorry for the. Guys, wait for 2 minutes. I will get back to you. 2 minutes, guys. Yeah, guys, can you hear me now? Guys, can you hear me now? Can anyone reply?
Yes, sir.
So voice is breaking.
Yeah, 1 second. I will check it out. Guys, can you listen me now? Guys, is it okay now? Guys, am I audible now? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's fine, guys. Yeah, let's me share my screen again. Is my screen? Guys, can you see my screen? Guys, anyone respond, please? Can you see my screen? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks. Let's get into the question now. See here, as I told you, here in this insertion function, we have 4 conditions. That is t right not equal to null, t right equal to null, t left not equal to null, t left not equal to null. Guys, here once listen. In between though, I have used AND operator. As I told you, OR operator means only one condition need to be satisfied. If I use AND operator means both the condition I have to satisfy, right? So if my first if condition satisfied, then I'm going to insert this thing. If my second if conditions are going to satisfy, then I'm going to insert not insertion. I'm going to take my t right value as temp, and again it will be stored over there, and again the insertion will be in the iteration format. Okay, this will be iterated up to the complete values are going to be inserted to my function. Okay, now coming to the main function. After completion of this void insert function, coming to main function, I'm going to take n. This n will be taken into my program, and now while n is not equal to -1, if I satisfy this condition, I will be able to enter into while function, this while loop. Okay, struct node of star node. Here I am taking a node that is new node, and I am taking create of n has some number, right guys? So it defines size of that create. Here it indicates the size of create. Okay, that much only we have to create, that much up to that size only we have to create the new node. This value will be stored in new node. If root equal to null, that means the starting point t equal to null, then the new node value will be stored in root, or else we are going to insert new node comma root. As I told you, the insertion here, it will enter into insertion function. After that, again I am taking n value, I am reading n value. Now I am getting out of while loop and entering into int function. Now int n1 comma n2, the two nodes I am taking those two node value into my program. After taking those, struct node start temp equal to LC of root comma n1 comma n2. Here this is a function which I have over in 15th line. LC of struct node of root int n1 comma n2, right? From here I will get that function, and finally, what is the question we need? The root function of lowest common ancestor. We need to find lowest common ancestor of a rooted tree, right? So that lowest common ancestor will be stored in temp, and temp will have data, right? That data will be my output. Finally, that will be my output. Okay guys, do you have any doubts? Guys, do you have any doubts? Yeah, here. Okay, I think yes, sir, for previous questions. Yeah, do you have any doubts guys up to here, up to this question, or any previous questions? Yeah, I
Sir?
think no. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, we can code in Python also in TCS exam.
Yeah, in Python, Java, C++, in any language we can code. We can write our codes in any language in TCS. Okay.
Sir, but in some questions they are asking about lists and nodes, no sir. So then how can we write them in Python?
Yeah, by taking by declaring these nodes. Yeah, sorry, this is a question, right? Yeah, this by taking these nodes into numbers. Actually, these are nodes are numbers only. two nodes means two numbers. In Python, we will take these two as two numbers, and by using that format, Python format, we are going to solve that. Okay.
Sir, actually in this question, write a C++ program is given, no sir? The first sentence only. So we can write Python
Yeah.
also.
Actually, they won't specify like this, right? A C++ only. They won't specify like this. We can write in any language. Just for our sake, we have modified this. We can write in any language. They won't specify any particular language. But some companies will specify that. Where they in recruitment only, in the recruitment criteria only, they will tell only these languages you need to get. But coming to TCS, in any language, you can write a program. Okay.
Okay, sir.
That's fine. Yeah, good. Now, coming to another question. Yeah, here. If you can see this means pairwise swap elements in linked list. Given a linked list, write a program to swap elements pairwise. If the link list is empty, print list is empty. Yeah, here you can see he didn't specify any language. Okay, before a person asked that out, here you can see here he didn't specify any language. Okay, like this in every exam there will be question like this only without specifying any language. We need to just write a program in a language which what we know perfectly. Okay, guys. Now starting off this question, there is a list and we need to swap elements pairwise, and if we need to return list is empty when the list is empty. Okay, guys. Now let's see what is the input and output. Yeah, this is a list and we need to swap them pairwise, right? So this is a pair and I'm going to swap. If what will be the output if I swap, 20 will get into first position, 10 will get into second position, and coming to second pair, so that 10 will come to third position, 20 will come to fourth position. And see here, guys, read complete question. It is very important. The input consists of list of integers. Negative value indicates the end of the linked list. Okay, what he was telling here, the negative value indicates that is the end of the linked list. Means we don't want to swap this number with any other number. The negative value will be only one value, and that will be end of our linked list. Okay, guys. So if I am swapping these two, this is my first pair, and I am swapping these two, this is my will be my second pair. Okay. Now writing a program for this. Yeah, guys. Now I'm writing a program. See, as I told you, IOStream and using namespace std, these two are common in C++ language. Class node, guys, and I also told you the name after the name which was representing after class need to start with a capital one, and in that public means global declaration, as I am declaring these two things in globally. And after that, now void print, I am getting into a void function. What is that? Struct node star head. I am taking a node that is star head, and while that node is not equal to null, if that head means what is the value of node head, right? So node is not equal to null means I will get an output, the data present in node. Okay, this will be my output. First, in the initially I'm writing the printing, means I'm writing the output of my program. That is a function, guys. I'm not directly writing, that is a function. Okay, from main function I will get into these functions. Okay, after getting output, the node next will be the value stored in node. Okay, after that new node star new node of int key. Guys, here I am writing this thing for checking my last value, the negative value, the last value. This last value I am taking it as my key value. Okay, now node star temp equal to new node. The new node value will be stored in temp, and temp here, temp means the key value, temp data the key. Here means that temp will have a data minus 30, and temp next equal to null. After next to 30 there is no value, so it indicates null. The same thing he was telling here, temp next equal to null, and return temp. Now I am returning temp. What is the value in temp? Minus 30. So that I am going to return that value. It indicates it is the end of the string, right? That's it. Now void insert, I have to insert values, right? So For that, I am writing a void function again to insert the values. Note star star head comma into value. Note star last equal to star head. Means I'm storing a star head value in star last. And guys, if you know pointers, you can understand this star indication very easily. And node star new node equal to new node means the value of new node is going to be stored in star new node. New node data equal to value. The value is going to be stored in new node. The new node will have some data, that is value, and the next to new node will be null. Okay, if head is equal to null means the starting of the point is null, then new node value will be stored in head, or else if I fails to satisfy this condition, I will be entering into the else loop. That is while last next is not equal to null. What is mean by last next? The node after the last one is not equal to null, then last equal to last next, I will be present the last value as last next value. Okay, and if it doesn't satisfy means I will get out of the while loop and I will print else loop value, that is last next equal to new node. That is new node value present in need to be taken into last next. Okay, now getting, I have done with printing and searching for negative value and also insertion. Now what I have to do? Pairwise swap. Now I am doing that. Void pairwise swap. I am doing pairwise swap function now. That is star node equal to star node temp equal to head. The head value will be stored in star temp. If head equal to null, guys, as I told you, if as we can see in question, if the list is empty means print list is empty. The same thing he was doing. If the first one is null means we can say the second one will also be null one, right? If there is nothing in the list means we have to print list is empty. That one we are doing here, guys. After doing that, if the list is not empty, what we need to do? We need to swap. Okay, how we need to swap? Temp not equal to null. Okay, and temp next not equal to null. Why we are taking two things? Temp equal to one number and temp next equal to two number. This is a pair, right? If these two things are not equal to null, then we will swap these two things, temp data and temp next data. We are going to swap these two things here. The data present in temp will be get into temp next, and the data present in temp next will be swapped into temp. After completion of swapping, the temp value will be changed into temp next means, first of all, we are going to take this one as my temp value and this is my temp next value. Wait, guys, I will show you this. Yeah, this is my temp value and this is my temp next value. Okay, guys, and after swapping these two, what I have to do? I have to store this third value into temp, my temp. So in this, if you observe this line means temp will become temp next. Okay, that means temp first next will use 20. Temp next means what is mean by that? This 20, the third position value. This will be stored in temp. That is the thing here. It was denoting. This while loop will be iterated until these two conditions become false, or only one condition also will, if one condition becomes false, it will be get out of the while loop. And after swapping up to here, we will swap the things. Okay, after swapping into main is equal to is main function, we are getting into main function. Node star head is equal to null. In elements, the elements, what are the elements? 10, 20, 20, 10 minus 30 are my elements. Now, while of 1, this is absolutely the satisfied condition. So I will be entered into the while loop. Now, seen greater than elements means I'm reading the elements into my function. After reading, I have to check whether the element is greater than 0 or not, greater than or equal to 0 or not. After checking, I have to insert by using insert function, right? Head value will be inserted into elements will be inserted into head. Okay, guys. After insertion, if I fails to satisfy this if condition, I'll be entering into else condition, that is break. Okay. Now the pairwise swap, that is pairwise swap once. Sorry, guys. Yeah, this is pairwise swap. Pairwise swap, I will swap that after inserting of elements and print. I'm going to print after pairwise swapping. Okay, guys. This is the thing. Do you have any doubts? Do you have any doubts, guys? Okay, that's fine. I think no. Now, coming to next question, permutations. Guys, listen carefully. Some questions will have some junk part. This junk part will be given to just waste your time. Okay, guys. So don't depend on that junk part. Means don't stick to that. Don't try to understand that junk part. If you don't understand, leave it. It doesn't matter for you. Just go with the main question. Here in this, I think everything is junk part. There will be a main part. We need to search for that. Writing an algorithm that can calculate and print all the permutations of a given number in strictly sorted order. This is a main part, and this is a part that he wants, that he needs, right? Yeah. What is our input format? Input consists of a string. Okay. Output format means output print all the permutations of a given string. Refer the sample output for formatting. Okay, guys. Do you know permutations? I think having a number and writing in another forms. ABC, ACB, BAC, BCA, CAB, CBA. This is my input and this is other forms of my input. And he asked strictly in sorted order. Means, as you observe here, my first two are started with A. After completion of A, second two are B. After completion of B, third two are C. As you can see, that is a sorted order, guys. Now I'm going to tell you the program. Okay, let's see the program. Yeah, guys, it is written in the C language. Guys, as I told you before to your friend, we can write our codes in a programming language which we are comfortable. It may be C, C++, Python, or Java. Okay, guys, just it depends on our question understanding and how we are going to execute that using our programming language. That's it, guys. Okay, let's write this. Let's see this. Hash include str.h, hash include string.h. These two are header files, as we know. Now, guys, here if you can see means here what are the things we have to do. First we have to find permutations. After that we have to sort them. After that we have to print them. That's it. Those three are the things we have to do. Yeah, first thing, I'm sorting and I'm doing permutation and permutation wrapper, ending that permutation and printing. Okay, that is the three things I'm going to do here. Now hash define, as you know, define is a keyword used in C language, used to define something in our program. I'm defining now, max size 20. I'm defining 20 is the maximum size for max size. Okay, here instead of 20 we can write 100 or 1000 or any other thing, but here in for this program it's, I think 20 is enough and I'm making 20. Now int main char array of maximum size, array of 20 means array should not exceed more than 20, guys. Okay, here as I taken 20, here my array size need to be 20. Now I'm reading that array using scanf and int n equal to string length of array. As you know, the string length means the length of the array. Okay, that will be stored in n, and permutation wrapper array comma n. From here I will go to the permutation wrapper. Means after this permutation wrapper I will get the complete permutation and I will able to print the output, right? So I will get to that permutation wrapper. What we need to do first, I need to take the sorting order, guys. So first of all I need to sort. Okay, void sort of char array comma int n. I'm taking array and n. Array means you can see here, this is an array, right, guys? This is an array. Now I'm trying to sort that in I comma j. Sorry, guys, in I comma j. for I equal to 1, I less than n, I plus plus. If I satisfy this for loop condition, I'll be able to do the for loop condition, that is temp equal to array of I. Array of I will be stored in temp. After that storing, I'll be able to enter into another for loop, that is j equal to I minus 1, j is greater than or equal to 0, j minus minus. If I satisfy this condition, I'll be able to into for this for loop, that is 29th for loop. Inside that I have a if else condition. As you know, if I satisfy this, I'll print this condition present in sorry. Yeah, if I satisfy this, I'll be able to print this one. I mean, not printing, I'll be able to access that line. If I doesn't satisfy, I'll be entering into break, that is else condition, that is break. And after completion of this for loop, and I need to end this for loop also. How can I end? After writing the 40th line, I can end that for loop by using these complete lines. The sorting will be done for the array, guys. Do anyone have doubts? No, right? Okay. By using these lines, I can sort the array. Now, void permutation wrapper of char a int comma int n. Now, here permutation, as I told you, permutation wrapper means I'm getting the output after this. I'm taking sort a comma n, the sorted array, and int selected of maximum size as empty brackets and using maximum size empty. Now permute a comma n comma selected comma used comma 0. What I am going to get output, what I am going to print, what output? The permuted one, the permutations. These permutations I am going to print, right? What are my permutations? The function of permutation is will be given in this int I. If index equal to c n, then I'll be able to enter into for loop. If I satisfy this, I'll able to print my array. Okay, this array will be printed with new line, means first one will be printed in one line, second one in second line, third one in third line, like that. After that, I'll be getting into another for loop, that is I less than n. If I satisfy this, if used of I equal to I 1, guys, see here, if my used of I is 1, means I will continue with the array, means I will continue with the loop. If it is not 1, means if it becomes 0, means again I have to start complete permute process again, guys. Okay, see here, if you can see, used of I equal to 1, selected of index equal to a of I, means a of I value will be stored in selected of index. And after that, I will be entering into permute, means this permute function. Then after entering, my used of I value will become 0. When it becomes 0, I will stop the thing. I'll stop the program and I'll start printing the array. Okay, guys, do you understand? Do you have any doubts? Okay, guys, let's go with the next question. An integer matrix, rows and columns. Transfers it as shown below: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, guys, he was telling like just a simple thing. We will have a matrix, for example, 3 by 3 matrix, and input is in the format of 3 by 3 matrix, that is 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. And the output need to be in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The output need to be in this format, and the input need to be in this format. Okay, that what he wants. Now, if you can see, the first 3 indicates the number of rows and number of columns. This is our input, and this will be our output. Now, getting into the program, let's see here. Yeah, guys. Now I'm going to write this program in C++. As I told you, the first 2 lines need to be common for every C++ program. In main, now I'm going to be entering into main function, int n comma m comma I comma j. Now I'm going to read my n value, that is my matrix value, and my matrix value I'm going to store it in A. And guys, listen, from 8th line to from 8th line to 12th line. These 5 lines indicates how to insert the matrix, how to take input in the matrix form. Okay, guys. See here, let us take the I value represent rows and j value represent columns. By using these two for loops, I am going to take input of my a of I and j rows into columns, my matrix, that will be my matrix. I'm going to take that. Now int count equal to 1, and taking a number 1 and storing it in 1, and int round equal to ceil of double of n by 2. Guys, you can get it out what is mean by ceil means. Guys, this ceil will be only used in C++ language, guys. Other than C++, in any other languages we won't use ceil keyword. Guys, here ceil means, what is mean by ceil? If we divide 5 with 2 means we will get an output as 2.5, right? So if we use ceil of 2.5 means we will get output as round figure of that 2.5, the highest round figure. What is the highest round figure of 2.5? 3, right? So if we use ceil means we will get highest round figure of 3 of 2.5. And now entering into the for loop, guys, as I told you, now we need to write the output in the transverse format. Yeah, how we can write? I is less than round means here I get round value. If I satisfy that condition, I'll be able to entering into that first for loop. Yeah, guys, now what is there in the remaining loops? Now here I have 4 for loop conditions, guys. This is my first for loop condition, this is my second one, this is my third one, and this is my fourth one. These 4 will be useful to print outputs only, guys. Here, as you can see, means if I satisfy this condition, I'm going to print something. And if I satisfy this condition, I'm going to print something. If I satisfy these conditions, I'm going to print something else. And if I satisfy fourth one, I'm going to print fourth one. Guys, all are going to print some new one only. Okay, so that every for loop will be taken into the part. Okay, here as you can see, here I'm going to print a of I comma j. Here I'm going to print a of j n minus I minus 1. Here I'm going to print a of n minus I minus 1 and j. Here again a of j and I. Okay, guys, this is the complete thing. Do you have any doubts? Guys, do you have any doubt? Yeah, tell me.
Sir, what was the round? Like, what is the use of that round?
Yeah, guys, as I told you, here I'm dividing some n value by 2, right? If my n value is 5 means, if I divide my 5 with 2 means I will get value as 2.5, right? This 2.5 directly I can't store in round, right? The decimal values here as you can check means the output is not in decimal values, it is in normal integer values. So to remove these decimals, I'm going to use a ceil keyword. If I use that ceil keyword, I will get normal integer value. This normal integer value is going to be stored in round, and by using the value which was stored in round, in next further cases it will be useful for me to check the conditions. Okay, do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, now getting into next question. Naughty students. Yeah, I think you students are not naughty. You are very calm and silent. Let's see what here these guys done in this program. You are the class leader. The teacher asked you to write down the names of students on the board who are talking. This is a thing in every school happens in our childhood. Also, she asked you to write the student's name as many times as you talk in the class. Yeah, what she was telling here, for example, my name is Santosh, right? If I talk for first name, the class representative or class leader was going to mention my name on the board for first time. If I talk for second time, he was going to write my name again on the board. If I talk for third time, again he will write my name, like that. And what she want to do with those names? Finally, the teacher decided to give imposition based on the number of times a student name got repeated. Yeah, what she wants, how many times the name was repeated on the board. Let's see what is our input and output. Yeah, this 5 indicates how many names are on the board. And here, how many times the Sumit was repeated? Only once. So Sumit 1. He was going to write assignment for one time only. And Ambuj. Ambuj name was repeated for 3 times. So he was going to write assignment for 3 times. And Himanshu, his name also written for one time. So he will get assignment for one time only. Let's write the program. It is a simple question. We will have a simple program only, guys. Now let's see here. Yeah, guys. See, that's the same thing we have written this one in again in a C++ program only. 1 second, guys. Yeah, here int main, and when we are going to enter into main function int n, I'm going to take n value, that is 5. How many names are there on the board? It depends on that. Now string name. Now the name in the string format I'm going to take, and map string comma int m. This indicates, guys, actually I will first of all I am going to tell about map. Maps are associative containers that store elements in a combination of key values and mapped values, guys. I think you understand. It is a combination of key values and mapped values. It will store those things, the store elements. It has container. It is a type of container which will store elements. Okay. Now I am going to read my n value into my program. After reading, I am post decrementing the n value. This will be my while condition. If I do post decrement, my condition will be satisfied. After satisfying, I am reading my name into my program. I have to read every name, right? Sumit, Ambuj, Himanshu, again Ambuj, again Ambuj. I have to read all those 5 names. After reading into my program, I have to m of name plus plus. Here, guys, m of name plus plus means the next name. Here, m of int represent the first one, means the first name. If it is incremented means the second name, again incremented means the third name, like that. Now map of string comma int, as it stores the string value and the integer value both. The iterator part, it guys here you can see iteration. We have to do iteration, means like Sumit need to check with other names whether it was same or not. Sumit is not same with, doesn't matches with others, right? So Sumit will become 1. Ambuj will match us with 4th position Ambuj and 5th position, so Ambuj will be written 3 times. This is a type of iteration only, no guys. So iterator it, we are iterating this mapping part. Again mapping part means we will get from here this while loop. Again after getting out of this iterator part also, we will get into for loop. In for loop we have a condition. If it means the iterator, it means the value stored in it. If it is not equal to m dot n, means the value m value, if it is not equal to m dot n, the last value of m, means we have to print output as it of first and it of second. What is it of first and it of second? This Ambuj indicates it of first, and this 3 indicates it of second. After printing that, again we have to print it of 1 and it of 2. It of first will indicate Himanshu, it of 2 indicates 1, like that. This is the output. This is how we get the output. Do you have any doubts here, guys? Guys, if you don't have any doubts, means we are done with the class. I will stop my screen sharing. Can I stop it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Now, okay, guys, 1 second. I will share you a feedback form and yeah. Yeah, guys, 1 second. I'll share you a feedback form and fill that. And after filling that, acknowledge me in the chat box. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, guys, that is a feedback form. Fill that. After filling it, acknowledge me in the chat box as you've done that, and I will start accepting your responses. Okay. Yeah, I have started accepting your responses, guys. You can start filling it.